guys, I wanted to do a little bit of a different video. It's so cloudy today, which sucks because it was really bright and sunny the past few days. I was like, yes, 80 degrees during winter, and then it got really cold and started raining all weekend again. But anyway, so before I share this story, I'm gonna have two quick disclaimers. The first disclaimer is I know I've never been overweight. I have just been not so great before. I'm pretty skinny fat. You guys know I like to use that word a lot. It's pretty skinny fat. Maybe getting a little bit heavier. But, and then the second disclaimer is I had to find dresses where like you guys could see my body. So some of these dresses are really short. Some of the dresses are not even dresses, they're actually just shirts like that are longer in the front and shorter in the back. So from the photo you can't tell that I have shorts on, but actually I have shorts on under everything. That is a rule of the clubbing, SoCal clubbing scene. You wear Spankies under everything. So those are my two disclaimers. So I'm gonna tell you guys kind of my weight loss fitness story because I think this is something that you guys would find really interesting because I find it interesting when I hear like other people's stories. So growing up, I was always really active. You know, my mom had put me in ballet. I did lap swimming for a long, like I think maybe 4 years. I stopped because I felt like it made me really broad up top. Like you guys can see, I feel like I have really like wide shoulders. I always kind of blame that on swimming, but so I did that for a long time. I was very active, and then right before the year I went to college, I stopped ballet, and I also stopped like doing a lot of physical exercise, mainly because I was about to go to college. And during this time, I'd gone through a very bad breakup, like a really bad breakup, which I know sounds ridiculous, but when you're young, that first love breakup, it's a really bad one. I was really struggling with myself internally because I kept thinking, God, maybe I didn't make the right decision. And I thought this for very many years. I was very torn about this breakup. It wasn't just like a high school thing. It was a thing I brought well into college. So it was pretty bad, and I really didn't know what to do with myself because I had spent like every day with this family. We were very close. We were very serious, very young, which was probably the reason why we broke up. And so I didn't really know what to do with myself. Just bored all the time, so I started going to the gym. And so I went to LA Fitness, and I used to work out like all the time. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was literally just shitting around, walking around, not really knowing what to do because, when everyone first starts working out, they don't know what to do and it wastes so much time. But all I knew really was cardio. I was like, I don't really like my thighs, so I'm going to work on my thighs. I went on like the little hip abductor thing, whatever it's called, where you like squeeze it in your thighs. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I had really no clue, and I have to change my feet because my feet are actually kind of falling asleep. Ow. So I really didn't know what I was doing, but because I was really depressed, I wasn't eating either, and I got so skinny, like to the point where I was wearing a kid size 10. And ever since I've been in high school, the last few years of high school to now, I've worn the same size jeans. I'm anywhere from like a 24 or 26 depending on if the jeans are stretchy or not. And so I got super skinny, and I started realizing it when I couldn't even like keep my clothes up. I started having to wear like my kids jeans again, but my parents didn't really know what to do because they knew I was really upset. But anyways, so fast forward, I kind of got over it a little bit to the point where at least I wasn't like frantically working out and I was eating again. And I went to college, and I started gaining a lot of weight for a lot of reasons. Part of it was, I didn't really have that like physical exercise anymore. We did have a gym, obviously, because like all colleges have gyms, but I didn't really use it that much. On top of that, the food in our dorms were so bad that all I tried to do was eat salad and soup because it was like the only thing I thought was edible. And then I gave up because I was just so hungry all the time, and I started eating the regular food. But the food was so bad, like I hated anything they had, and the only good thing they had was like hamburgers, because you couldn't mess up a hamburger, like who's ever had a bad hamburger? Or chicken nuggets. Those were the only things I would eat because it was the only thing like I thought tasted okay. And I was in love with soda. I still love soda to this day. I would drink it every day if I could. I think it tastes delicious. I would have 4 tall cups maybe of like dark soda. I love Dr. Pepper, like root beer. I also like Brooks root beer, and we all had like all my favorite sodas, so I would drink a lot of it. And I started gaining a lot of weight. And I saw my photos, and I was just like, wow, I'd gotten a lot heavier, because I was losing my muscle mass, I was gaining weight, and I was still the same size pants and everything, but pants were getting pretty tight. So I started working out again, and once again I had no idea what to do. All I knew was I needed to do cardio, and so I did cardio, and I did cardio, and I did cardio, and I did cardio, and I did what I was really doing. And so I got really skinny, like super skinny, you guys can see. Some girls thought I looked great, most people thought I looked really terrible, some people thought I had like an eating disorder, which I've never had, by the way. A few of you guys have asked about that. I can be really honest about that. I've never had an eating disorder. I've never gone on one of those like really crazy like quote-unquote cleanse diets. I hate to call them that. I think it's really misleading when you tell someone that this is going to detox your body. I have a lot of friends that swear by these kind of things, but your body doesn't need to detox. It doesn't detox when you go on any kind of like master cleanse diet. It doesn't. Don't kid yourself. It's a starvation diet. That's what it is. But I've never done any of that, you know, but I was like super crazy with the cardio, literally would eat like no carbs. I did the no carb thing. So anyways, I got really skinny. And on top of the fact that I think I got really too skinny was I lost my butt. And this was like a personally really devastating thing to me because that was kind of what people knew me for whatever reason. You know, I don't know, it's kind of followed me all the way to college into like my adult life. People always kind of like made fun of me, and then all of a sudden they were making fun of me because I didn't have it anymore because it was just so flat. And that's what happens with cardio. If you just do straight cardio, you will completely ruin any back end that you have because it just literally makes your whole body just flat and small. And so the way that I found to counteract that was to run uphill. So now I do high intensity interval training. I sprint uphill, walk, you know, calm down, sprint uphill, walk, calm down. By the way, you should never run flat on a treadmill anyways. You should always tilt it up a little bit. Even if it's just like the first degree, you should push it up a little bit. Just because it pulls you, and that way it can kind of counteract the pull a little bit. But so I started running uphill. Also started doing weight training, lifting, and squats. And then I realized I built really thick muscle. And it just gets so thick and knotty. And a lot of you guys have asked about like my body now. I naturally have small arms. I just don't deposit fat there a lot. My trouble area is definitely like this whole stomach, hips, backslash butt and thighs area. The cool thing about a butt is that you get a butt, but the bad thing is that butts come with thighs and hips and all of these other not fun things. And so I was like, okay, so I don't understand what I have to do to be like my perfect version of myself, the best version of myself. I always tell you guys not to try to compare yourself to other people because your body's just not the same. You just have to kind of find the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And I don't want people to think that I'm telling you guys the story that like I'm crazy or whatever, but it was more just like I saw myself, I was like, oh, this could be better, you know. It's not like I was eating super healthy and I was that weight and looked like that. I was like not taking care of myself. I was really at a loss what to do because when I do too much cardio, I get too skinny, you know, do weight training, I get really thick, heavy muscle. So this is now kind of what I started doing now. Then I kind of started getting into hot yoga. And this is right when I started my high intensity interval training. So I noticed that I liked running uphill. So when I first started doing hot yoga, maybe about a little bit less than a year ago. I was just really interested in it just because for a lot of reasons. I think it had a lot of the structure that I missed from ballet. And I think also I just found it to be very therapeutic. I'm very strongly controlled by my emotions. And so I kind of find a lot of solace in yoga with that. And then I realized yoga started giving me problems, and I couldn't even do any of the classes that involved weights because it would just make my arms really buff. Like, I'm kind of getting rid of it now. So then I have to do kind of more Bikram style yoga, anything where it's really hot and you're not doing so many like low planks or chaturangas, just because my arms do get bulky really easily. So I have also done regular yoga, I want to mention to you guys, but I had done it like back in high school at LA Fitness. It was a really crappy class. I really didn't like it. And I've tried regular yoga classes too, like vinyasa, more flowy classes at a regular yoga studio too, and I just, it's not really for me personally. I like to do things that are like so hot to the point where I can just really just empty my mind, like focus on myself. It was spiritual enough without being like too spiritual for me, and then at the same time it was very athletic, and I still wanted it to be very athletic because I still wanted it to like kind of supplement my working out, because I started working out a little bit less, just because, you know, working out is really hard on your knees. I'm not gonna lie, you know, some people, their knees just aren't strong enough, and I realized that my knees were not so great. I thought they were really good, but they're not that strong, and so it helps to kind of actually strengthen my knees too. So I wanted something that would complement my workouts but also still be very athletic without feeling like working out. And I think that's really important for you guys to find something that doesn't necessarily always feel like working out, because I think a lot of people will want to branch out into other things eventually. So you just have to just kind of find, you know, what it is that you want to do and what's going to work for you, what's going to work for your schedule, what's going to work for your budget, you know. So as long as I'm just doing cardio and I am like running uphill, doing squats, light weights on the legs. So I do no upper body exercises just because my arms, they get really, really buff, and it happens really quickly, and so I don't like it. That's where I kind of am now. I'm doing hot yoga 2-3 times a week. I go to the gym maybe 3 times a week. And that's pretty much my entire exercise routine. I mean, this is what I look like now. I think this is a really good place for me. I pretty much look exactly like how I want, except maybe a little bit tighter around the thighs. But like I said, it's always like this constant limbo and balance for me, like pulling back and forth somewhere. I think this is how it is for everyone I know that works out a lot. You kind of always look at yourself as a work in progress because it's never exactly where you want it to be. Part of it is genetics, you know, part of it, no exercise I do is gonna ever make my hips smaller. Like nothing, you know. It's just genetics, and you just have to know, and it does take a lot of trial and error to figure out what works really well for you. But so that works well for me. Cardio with light weights 3 times a week, and I'm doing hot yoga also. And the hot yoga also really helps me lean out my muscle because, like I said, I get very thick, knotty muscle. So I think my perfect body for me, for my body type, is when, like I said, my legs are a little bit tighter, I still got my butt, and my arms are tight but without being too defined. I don't like them to be, I think this is even a little too defined. I don't like it when I can see this, but I mean, it's alright. Because see, if I flex, it gets, I think that's too much for me personally. I like having dainty small arms because I don't have a lot of dainty parts about me, you know, so I hold on tightly to the arms. Flat stomach, you know, because I just get a little skinny fat in the stomach, you know, I'm not too heavy in the stomach, I get a little skinny fat. And then just, you know, everything else, like I like to keep it tight, keep it looking good. And that is pretty much my own little story of my whole weight loss fitness journey. So as you guys can see, I've kind of been all over the place. I'm really skinny, a little bit heavier, and then now I think I'm at a really good place, and I'm still just kind of like tweaking it. But also I want you guys to know that I still realize that I could have all the things that I like to eat, you know, and still have the body I want. I just only usually eat out on weekends, maybe 1 meal during the week, and then 3-4 meals on the weekend, and that's it. And I still can, you know, be in fairly good shape, I like to think. And so if you guys have any questions, just ask me down in the description box, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. I hope that was helpful. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.